Good morning, everyone. And first, I'd like to thank the few subscribers that I do have. I appreciate it. And it's been a very long time since I posted a video, and I do look a lot different. My hair is out and everything, so I don't have any makeup on. But anyway, I want to come to you this morning because I've been growing, and it's been, I guess, it's been amazing. It has been an amazing experience, but just really horrible in the same breath. Um, and I've always believed that the more in touch you are with yourself and the Creator, there's something that begins to happen that you can't explain. And it's like, you have sight, you have a vision to see, but there are a set of eyes that you get when you've arrived at a certain place. And it, I never thought my life would be like the way that it is right now. Like it never occurred to me that I would be here based on the experiences that I've been having. And when I initially said, at least for women, I'm going to make this for you if you're a woman, mostly black women, because I'm a woman of color, obviously, and any other woman that it may resonate with. And I know those things change based on how we were raised, the continent, whatever. It's just that, there's going to be different variations. And I was actually crying earlier in the car because I was so overwhelmed with emotion that I couldn't. I'd never just cried. This was a cry that wasn't like silent or loud. It was this thing like it was like it was like what a growth spurt would feel like in a moment, or giving birth. And something happened in the last couple of days, and because I'm always following my spirit, I certain things I can't. Once it gets in there, I can't get it out, and so it alters how I move after that. And so I remember, I love the TikTok shorts when they ask questions, and one of the questions was, I don't know if it said your parents, but basically it was, um, what was a point in time when someone said something to you that completely changed how you looked at them from that moment on? Like what is it that made you be like, whoa? And what's interesting is that people believe that you can come back from anything. And I used to believe that. And in that, there's a lot of little things that you gotta kind of define and understand, depending on the relationship and things like that. It's like you have to be careful about what you say and do, because once it's out there, whomever it's directed towards, there's no guarantee that that might not have been the thing that just made them back away. Like, you have to be careful. And prayer, um, and mostly loving myself. And as women in this world, acceptance is a very difficult thing. And one of the things that keeps us imprisoned is the fact that we are unable to accept certain things. We don't want to look at certain things. It's like being in an abusive relationship. It's like it's whatever story you tell yourself. What did you tell yourself? And that was from Oprah. But it's like, there's so much that I can go into on that. But it's like, once your mind takes over, once you just fight to understand, you fight to know yourself. Like, there's so many things that go up in a joyful moment, and I have so much joy right now that I just was weeping in the car. It was like, I don't cry, and there are these moments when I feel it coming and I pull it back in. But this time I wanted to do it because it meant that I was free. It I've been I've been released through my own mind and my own spirit and my own soul. And the struggles that I used to have suffering from anxiety and panic attacks, it's so interesting how you understand that those things are just like an unresolved emotion, whatever that is in that moment that's causing you anxiety and panic. It's some sort of unresolved issue. It's something. And every time it wells up, you start to freak out because you haven't even identified where that shit is coming from. You don't know who you are. And so it becomes difficult for you to really function healthily because you don't know who you are. And you will let all of these things in the world and on TV and bombard you with, who not really knowing who you are, doing everything for something, thinking about things in the context it was never meant, doing things that you shouldn't do when you're angry. And I've always said this, make a person mad when you get into something. If you say something to someone and they took it incorrectly, they thought you was doing a dig, and let's say if they were, and they're your friend or your family member, what you do in response to that, to me, that scares me. I'm the kind of person, I'm the kind of woman where I'm not that type of woman that's going to be in some, physical or toxic relationship with somebody and everybody's trying to one up and, oh, that bitch said she didn't like my so and so and I'll show her, and then you go and you do something equally as dirty. To me, that doesn't make any sense. I would think you would try to get out, that you would stop yourself at a point where that is going to allow you to just sink lower. You got to be careful when you're working on something. You don't want to strip anything so that when you go to put it back together, it doesn't fit. You got to pull out at a place when you say, you know what? If there's ever a moment for re-entry, let me not take this to a place that I can't come back from. That's how I process it. And as women, I think that there are so many things that is happening. And, we most of us are struggling with all kinds of identity issues and physical issues and things like that. It's like, and sometimes you look in the mirror and you think you don't look beautiful. So, you need to go get some lashes to make your eyes pop and, all of these things that we do. Because I'm a woman, I've done it. But now what I realized is the only reason why I looked in the mirror and I kept looking for something that was missing or something that was going to enhance, all I was saying to myself is I'm not enough, that I wasn't willing to see my own beauty, that the way I saw myself is what I saw in the mirror. So if someone walks past you and say you're beautiful and you'd be like, no, I'm not. It's like, oof, I didn't really see it as in, damn, you don't know yourself. How can you not see the beauty in you? And I learned that, nobody can give you, I've always said, nobody can give you you. It's not about what other people aren't giving you. I'm in love with myself now. Things don't affect me the same. I'm not offended and upset about things that used to get under my skin because I've learned not to hold what doesn't belong to me. I understand that once I fell in love with myself, baby, that it's something that you can't even describe, young. I've earned my wings. I've arrived. I have arrived. And some people are walking through this world and they've created monsters. They're in the laboratory practicing alchemy. They in there and they twiddling with things and they messing with stuff, and all of a sudden, though, in those movies where there's a guy, he has like a virus in a tube or, creating a monster in the basement, doing all type of stuff. And that monster gets loose and then it kills that person first, the person who created it. And they're like, oh my God, how could you do this? I'm your creator. And he's like, dog, first of all, it's the intent behind what you do, things that determine the outcome. And just because you created the monster and you think the monster is supposed to be loyal to you because you created the monster, the problem is that you created the monster for all the wrong reasons. It's what you intend to use with the monster, and now the monster is mad at you because it's like, dog, like you created this. What do monsters do? Be monsters. They don't care about you or anybody else. So, and now you get to a place in your life where not a lot of people, first of all, are going to understand the context and what I mean. And that's okay, because I was by myself in my journey. And so this thing comes and everyone wants to be secretive and hide things and not let this person know, so that, you can move through the world with people having a certain image of you that isn't true, because the things that you're hiding, those are the things you wouldn't want people to see. You don't want them to see the reality of you. Does that apply to everyone? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that on a different level, that you have to understand, if you are in, or if you have bore witness, or whatever that is, this is just only for them, pimping. And then we look up and we realize it's something we didn't want to get out, gets out. And it's like, well, here's the thing. You can't contain monsters. You can't bury the things, that are really important, or the things that were really wasn't right, and be scared when that shit just comes knocking on the door one day. You can't do it. I had to deal with that my whole life. I'm still dealing with some things. But the one thing that I do love more than anything is that I have finally arrived. I've gotten to that place in my life where I'm so in love with me. Not in an egotistical way, not in a self-centered way, not a oh, I'm the queen and I'm a bad bitch. No, I'm a bad bitch, but just not that kind of bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch because I love myself now. I'm a bad bitch to me in many different terms. Just what's inside of me. I'm still trying to deal with so many things that I know that I need in order to be the person that I'm supposed to be. I know that. And I've come to understand that if you got a big circle of people and you go to each person and stand behind them, you're going to see something different that the person next to you isn't going to see. Because when you move over, you may have moved over maybe 2 inches, and now you're a tree is blocking your vision, but the person 2 rows over to your left can see past the tree. So I can give you a description from what I see from where I'm standing, and every person that goes around is going to tell you what they see, and it's all going to be different to some degree, because we're all standing in different places, experiences. All of these things make up how you become. And so I understand now that everything that's happening in your life, somewhere or another, it's something is happening within you. And there was a book that I read, and the author was saying something about, when you're getting ready to go, because you get ready to view the bodies, that your life is like a film strip. And once that frame gets right in front of you, you're either looking at you're either looking at the person you are now, who, like, it's almost like that it's time for the next thing. And so I had to look at things in so many different ways and be in so many different situations and expose myself to things, because the only way that I was able to reach here is I had to open myself up to do that. And there was also another quote that I saw that I liked, that said, the quickest way to paradise is straight through hell. And that's perfect about my life, that the experience that I've been through has created something greater in me, that I can't explain. So I was on my way to the store, and I was just like sobbing. And there's still something in here that needs to come out, but I feel so grateful for this experience. I feel so grateful for what I feel for myself, being in love with myself, loving myself, and seeing the beauty in me as a Black woman. Even though when I'm looking at YouTube and you have all of these women and men saying why you shouldn't trust a woman, and this dusty this, and it's so heartbreaking to me that we don't even see that everybody is trying to get to this place. We're calling into Kevin Samuels. We're calling into, if a woman has a show, where we're listening to all of these men show clips and talk about, all of the negative things. And they're talking about the product of what we didn't address. We created a product We created the monster, and then it's coming back to kind of take our heads off. And we don't even know it. We don't even know that. For me personally, and everyone who knows me loves, I know I love my Black kings. You are my brother first, and I am your sister first. We're all responsible for certain parts of ourselves, whether we realize it or not. We don't want to say that the stuff that we're seeing in our community and the way that we relate to each other, we don't want to say it's our fault, but it is. And so most women don't know, and they're looking at these videos, and the men and all these people are giving their different perspectives. And you got these podcasts where the goal is to tell a woman you a hoe, you would, that baby, like, you don't, nigga, we just been set up. You just been set up. And as a woman, I stopped digesting all of these opinions and focused on who the fuck I was. Because I can stand next to 3 or 4 different women, and we're all going to say, this is me. This is what I can and can't do. And once you know that, when you attract what you attract, it will be molded around and with you. Because you already know yourself, and you don't have to go through all of these situations that are unnecessary. Because you already know you. You already love you. And the things that you focused on that hurt your feelings before, it just doesn't anymore. Because whatever you were looking for was already right there. To me, it's like the Messiah. I don't need to go to church and listen to the pastor. The Messiah said, all you got to do is talk to me. Just get on your knees and talk to me. I'm right here. I'm right here. All of the growth that I've experienced is when I came out of the church. And for those of you who go to church, baby, I don't need no smoke. I'm just telling you that for me, where I come from was knowing the Messiah, staying connected to him, just doing the most that I was doing at the moment, and understanding that, okay, you doing something, right? Maybe not for the reason why they think, but for me. It was for me. And at the end of the day, I understand what it means when they say use your enemies as your footstool, because what ultimately happens is, had that not have happened, I wouldn't have gotten sharpened. And your intent was to hurt me, but you just sharpened me. So that's the footstool joint. And I think that I had to do a lot of self-reflection and looking at how I was responsible and what I did to create the situation. It's like when I watch Paternity Court and you see all these stories, and you look at the women, and you say, dog, like, you got 2 people standing next to each other. She's saying she in love with him, and everybody doing dirty against each other when they get mad. And then you go to the next one, and that person said, well, yeah, I ain't really love her. I just told her whatever. She was just there. And, if she believed me, I took it. And they both building this monster. They building it themselves. So now they're stuck in their own creation. She got the baby bomb. He don't want her. All of this stuff going back and forth. He's saying, well, I don't want you. You or you this, you that. And instead of him, if he's saying now she's some garbage, instead of him going and being a man, right, and having enough confidence to go after what he thinks he believes, because remember, she obviously less than him if he think, oh, she wasn't nothing, not just, but that's what you could get, right? And you mad at her for loving you, because when you see her, maybe you think you ain't shit. Maybe you think, damn, how could she want me? I'm going to look down on her. And it's like, young, like, you still got it twisted, because all you have to do is love yourself. And now you mad and she mad. Y'all back and forth. Y'all mad. And y'all created the monster. You stuck in the vision of yourself, and you're mad. Because that's where you was, pimping. You can't do what ain't in you to do. And we want to blame somebody else. We want to put the scarlet letter on their chest and be like, oh, baby, listen. Y'all stop creating these monsters, and then when they come to kill you, it's like, dog, like, look. So now I got to step out of a lot of things. I have to, not because I'm giving up or because I can't fight, but because I no longer understand anything in that. I don't understand how, if you don't like somebody, you're angry. I don't understand why you would do stuff, why you would do petty and stuff to hurt them. Like, why would you do that? I don't understand it. Why would you want to hurt? Why would you want to do stuff to something to somebody that you say you love? Like, let there be a line that you don't cross. And when that stuff happens to me, dog, you're not gonna tell me you love me. When we was fine, you was fine. You was in it. You was doing everything. You was treating me exactly. And then you give me that bitch. Don't get out of pocket, because I will. I'll stab you in the back. And I'm not talking about something serious. I'm talking about little things that kind of hurt our feelings a little bit. Things we misunderstand. Certain things that we do, but we know we're doing it with the intent to hurt the person because we mad, or how dare this. You know what you're talking about, when you're doing something and it's coming from a place, and that's some ugliness attached to it. You are looking at how it makes you feel and what you perceive about the other person, and that's cool. Because sometimes people feel like they gotta relieve that. They gotta be like, oh, I'm gonna get her. When I tell you that I totally understand it, I'm saying I can't do it. And the moment I feel like I'm in that arena, I gotta go. I can't, because I understand that instead of us just having something that's bothering us, and we just step off and be like, okay, cool. Now I got to come and try and destroy you, because it's like, to me, it's like, I can't go to that point. For what? We had a disagreement. We grown. That doesn't give me a right to just like, and I'm like, I can't be in that. So now I know how I am to move from this moment on. I'm understanding that this is solely about me. And I'm so grateful to just be able to say, I can go on. I can leave it. I can do that now. I can do it because I have now grown. And whatever's happening in me, there are certain areas that I know I can't fit into anymore. So, again, the place that I am was really when I started with me and looking at my part in it. As a woman, what was I doing wrong to contribute to the problems we're having with our black men? Why are they on all of these radio shows and TV stuff, and we're just digging each other out? This motherfucker dog dusty, like, dog, what have I done to contribute to this monster we done created? Like, what's up? And I did what I needed to do. And now it's like, I don't regret it. I can't look back and say that any reaction that I had in the moment was anything other than, because my father said to me, your first reaction is genuinely the right one. That first instinct of when something's happening and something you just can't, it just, you're not a match. Like, no, young man, something, this shit just don't feel right. It don't feel right. As soon as you hit your stomach, it's like, yeah, that don't feel right. There are some things that I guess we'll never be able to understand, but the joy that I feel really is unbelievable. I wouldn't be able to describe it. But what I do know is, for each and anyone who's looking, just look at yourself, look at your life, look at who you are, look at where you've been. If you're struggling with something, then you have to go on a mission. If you want to be better, if you don't want to be the woman standing chasing after a man who don't want you, or you got friends that are toxic, or if you have family members that are toxic, any situation you in that you've been telling yourself something, whatever you have to tell yourself, and you still just getting beat up left and right, you in pain, you're making wrong decisions because you're looking for stuff in other people that you can only give yourself. And it doesn't mean that you don't want to be with someone else. I intend to be with my mate. I intend to be with my man, my husband, my homie, my ride or die. That's my intention. But I knew that, how am I going to find the right ride or die if I don't even know who I am? I don't mind molding myself into my mate. But I can't mold myself into my mate if I don't know who I am, because then that means I'm going to be in a relationship that's not going to last. Because on the tail end, I realized He wasn't my, because see, I wasn't myself at the time. So if I wasn't myself to some degree, and if I should grow during that time, then what does that mean for us? Like, there are just so many levels to that. And I'm so glad that I found myself first. So that whoever I lock with, it's 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 gonna be amazing because I'm with the right person. Because I'm the right person for me now. And I've learned that we can use a lot of things to make us feel better in the moment. And my inability to be able to see my own beauty, who I am on the inside, was messing me up because I kept looking for other things to to feel that, to put something in a place where there was a void in me. And a lot of people in this world don't grow up with love from their parents. And so they don't really know what real love looks like because we're loving with things, you know? We're loving with things and we forget to be present. Some parents are so busy trying to be the disciplinarian and screaming and hollering, and then the child grows up some sort of type of way. You're trying to figure it out because it's like a relationship, and a woman says, you were too busy being like, the father role or whatever, and or you forgot to be my lover, you forgot to be my friend, you forgot to be my best friend, you forgot to be these things to me. And it really isn't hard that you're only operating on one cylinder in a relationship when it runs on all cylinders. And you have to make sure that all of those cylinders are filled by you. That's what it means to become one. You become one person. That when your mate asks you for something, and that it's not a sacrifice, nothing you're doing is a sacrifice. Because if you're one person and you say, I need this, and they say, oh, that's going to cost so and so and so and so. But you get it, if you're one person, then I'm not taking from myself. I'm giving to us. I'm giving us to one as one person. So it's just like there's only one. There's not, I'm not sacrificing the money. I'm not sacrificing it to some degree, because if I'm one with him, then that would mean that anything that I'm taking from myself, I'm giving to someone else. And if we're one, then it's ours. Like to me, it's like, what is your desire for your relationship that you want? What do you want that to look like? Not just because I like him or her, but what does that look like? What does that look like really? And I'm hoping that we do get to a place as Black women and men, when we stop looking at each other and interacting with each other to a certain degree, unless there's going to be something out of it. No, this isn't something that happens to all of us as a whole. I'm talking about if you're in a situation and you're in an environment in which everything is about, well, what can I get from, or does he and you're supposed to want to be with someone who has the same level. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about it in the respect of when you get to a place and you're trying to find a man that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and how who he is on the inside is also very, very, very important. Not just about, can he provide you with a huge house? Depending on the type of person you are, you want that more than you want a huge house. And you too will get there. That will come. But I want to focus on the person, because if any of that stuff should ever go away, I still want to feel like I'm in heaven on earth. That we have such a paradise with us, that even if things around us were taken away for any period of time, that because we've built this beautiful thing between us, anything around us, it doesn't mean anything, and that place that we want to be, that'll eventually come. And so just know that the key to your happiness, the key to a mate that is for you, a key to all of that is the love that you have for yourself. Your ability to look at yourself and love you with no makeup and got no makeup on. It took me a long time before I could do that and feel that who I am precedes me. That when I walk in the room, that I'm coming into the room, not anything that I put on my body or my lashes or whatever. And I love those things too, because sometimes I do get them and they look good. But still being able to look at myself without it and understanding that because I love myself, I'm okay. So I'm going to end the video. I'm going to do a little bit more relaxing, probably make me another cup of coffee. So until next time, I want to say, remember, you always have two choices. You can choose joy or you can choose defeat. The choice is completely yours.